Hello, everyone. A very good evening to each one of you. And thank you so much for joining in this live call. So I'm going to start this call with welcoming all of you to Tapping on Thursdays with me. So I am Dr. Gaurav Deka. I'm your trauma resolution expert and your partner for tapping. I know that a lot of you face and experience guilt while trying to be there for others. I know that you go out of your way and help others, be there for them. Somehow you want to make sure that they are doing well. But at the same point of time, you also have this feeling of being overwhelmed. And somehow being there for others at times feels like a burden. And then you don't know what to do because your natural ability and instinct and choice is to just be there for others. And then you know that you are facing a major burnout, but yet you are not able to prevent yourself from taking a step back, right? So first thing is you have to own up to the guilt. You know that you feel guilty when you don't go out of your way and help them. You know that you feel guilty when you think about yourself and think of your own self-preservation. You know you feel guilty when you have to probably draw boundaries. And even if they are suffering, you still have to be inside your boundary and think that, okay, I know I'm burning out and I cannot step forward and do more, right? So this tapping is exactly for that. Okay, so let's start tapping. Even though I feel really guilty when I'm not there for others, even though I feel so guilty when I'm not being able to be there for others, my natural instinct is to be there. And I just feel so guilty when I'm not able to help others. I feel terrible. I feel I'm a terrible human being. I feel how selfish I can be if I simply think about myself. I feel I just cannot stop myself from being there for others, for taking all their pain, all their suffering, all their grief, and all their anxiety. And when I don't do that, I feel like a terrible person. I still choose to heal and integrate that part of me. And I still choose to love and accept myself. This guilt, this terrible feeling of guilt, this terrible feeling that I feel when I don't go out of my way, I feel like a monster. This terrible feeling, ask yourself, where in your body do you feel this terrible feeling? Do you feel it in your chest? Do you feel it in your stomach? Do you feel it in your shoulder? And say, this terrible feeling in my body, this terrible feeling of deep guilt. I know I'm overwhelmed, but I just feel so extremely guilty. I feel so guilty when I'm not there for others. I feel like a selfish person. I feel like a monster. This terrible feeling, I still choose to heal and integrate that part of me. And I still choose to love and accept myself. Even though I feel like a monster. I feel like a selfish person. I feel that I can only think of myself. If I'm not thinking about others, then maybe that makes me a bad person. Maybe I am a bad person when I'm not helping others. Maybe I am a bad person when I'm not burning out with all their anxiety, stress, pain, and trauma burdening on my shoulders. Maybe I am a bad person because I only think about myself. When I'm not thinking about others, then maybe I become a selfish person. And then I feel horrible. I feel the world hates me. I feel I will never be enough. I feel people will hate me. People will dislike me. And even though I feel all of that, I'm still choosing to heal and integrate that part of me. And I still choose to love and accept myself. I feel people will hate me. I feel I will never be liked by others. I feel my self-worth depends on how people respond to me, how much I'm able to help them. I feel people will never ever like me if I'm not there for others. I feel that I'll be a terrible person and people will call me all sorts of names and terrible person if I'm not there to help them. I feel they'll call me all kinds of names. They'll shame me. My self-worth will be questioned. I feel I will never ever be validated. I feel they will never like me. And I still choose to heal and integrate that part of me. And I still choose to love and accept myself. Okay, so here we let go of all of that and we put both of our hands on our chest and we take a slow, deep, long breath. And ask yourself, how do you feel right now? Do you feel energized? Do you feel lighter? Do you feel that a weight has lifted off your shoulders? Do you feel that something in your heart has opened up? Can you now visualize or envision yourself stepping back from all the people that you want to be there for and tell them that I really need to take care of myself? Can you do that? Do it once and check. And I know that for some of you, that's going to be difficult. There are still going to be these strong urges and emotional charges that will push you and propel you towards going back to that pattern because our self-worth is so heavily dependent on the validation we receive from people. And for many of us, that validation only comes when we go out of our way and unburden ourselves and endure all their pain, trauma, and suffering and never build our own boundaries, right? Never build our own boundaries. So let's tap one last time on that, okay? Even though I find it so difficult to have boundaries of my own. Even though the moment I put boundaries, I just feel so guilty. And my body goes into this whole anxiety. What will happen? What will people think of me? They'll think of me as a selfish person. Maybe they will disown me. Maybe I'll be rejected. Maybe I'll be abandoned. I'm so scared how people will react to me setting boundaries. This fear, I have this great fear that people will disown me. People will reject me. People will push me away and then I'll be all alone. This fear that people will reject me. This great fear that people will disown me and I will be all alone. I feel so scared right now in my body. Ask yourself, where are you feeling this fear in your body? I'm so scared. This fear that people will disown me, people will reject me. This fear that I'll not be wanted, that I'll be all alone, and I'll have no value for myself. This great fear that I'll be unwanted, people will disown me, people will reject me, and I'll be left all alone. I'm really, really scared to draw boundaries because then I will stop people from coming into me and I going out of my way to help them, to be there for them, to take all their pain and suffering and trauma. And that might lead to rejection. I'm so scared right now. I still choose to heal and integrate all those scared parts of me. And I still choose to love and accept myself. Even though setting boundaries feels like a nightmare. It feels that my whole body is going to anxiety and I'll never be able to sleep because all I will keep doing is wondering about how people are talking about me, how they're rejecting me in their thoughts, in their discussions. And I'm cornered, I'm sided, and people don't even look at me. And I feel so small and so alone, and maybe even shame. So alone, so small, and maybe even shame. So alone, so small, and maybe even shame. I'm now ready to let go of all of that. I can let it go, let go all of that. I know I can let go all of that. All these shame and fear and guilt about taking care of myself, I'm willing to let go of that. All these fear and shame and guilt about not being able to draw boundaries. When I draw, I feel all these terrible feelings, and I am ready to let go of all of that. I'm just so willing to let go of all these terrible feelings that come to me every time I think of drawing boundaries, receding away, thinking about myself, taking care of my body and soul. All these terrible, dark, guilty, fearful feelings, I know I'm able to let go now. I can let go. I'm so willing to let go. I'm so very much willing to let go of all these feelings of guilt and fear and shame. And I know that whatever people think of me, I need to live for myself, and I can live for myself. And my inner sense of self-worth is within me, not by the words and responses and reactions of people. I know that I can find my own sense of self-worth by going inside. Suppose somehow my sense of self-worth was not dependent on how much I'm able to help people and how good they think of me. Suppose somehow it was never about how people respond to me, how much they love me, how much they care for me, how much my family, my society, my friends wanted me. Suppose somehow the real seed of feeling good about myself, of feeling validated, of feeling approved was within me. Suppose somehow there was another way of feeling good and validated and approved. Suppose somehow all those voices in my head which tell me that I need to listen to people, that people will think XYZ about me, and people will shame me and reject me and abandon me. Suppose somehow all those voices were from a time I don't even have to go back to. Suppose somehow I could hear my voice right now and let go of all those feelings of fear and guilt and shame and bring in more love for myself. Suppose somehow the moment I say I love and accept myself, I really meant it. because it's me who will finally validate who I truly am. Suppose somehow taking care of myself and building boundaries was the most beautiful and healthiest thing I ever did in my life. Suppose somehow I could grow so much more just by taking care of myself. Suppose somehow I could also let people take care of me and for a moment allow my body to rest and tell every cell of my body, hey, just relax. You can relax now. You can rest now. You don't have to go out of your way to take care of others. You can relax right now. I love and accept myself. I so love and accept myself. I love and accept myself deeply and completely. I bring in all the self love that I need for my own preservation. I'm willing to have positive, healthy boundaries and think of my self care as the most beautiful thing I could accomplish today. I'm so proud of myself. It feels wonderful to be inside my body and not go out of my way. And every cell of my body is so much more energized right now just because I'm choosing to be inside my body. I just feel so great at this moment to have all this energy pulsing through me. I just feel so awake and so alert and so energetic and so full and so complete just because I have chosen to take care of myself and be there for myself. I truly love and accept myself. I love and accept myself deeply and completely. I so love and accept myself deeply and completely. Okay, with that, we put both of our hands on our chest and take a slow, deep, long breath. So that was it, starting on Thursdays with me. Thank you so much for joining. I will see you next Thursday. Bye bye.